What's up, children of the Rainbow Corn? It's your girl, Christina Storm, the hostess that does the mostest, baby. Yes, we are back with Reflections with Christina Storm. This is season 1, episode 6. Let's get right into it. I don't want to wait. This episode of Reflection is about temptation. Everybody has it, and that's why it's such a big and good topic to talk about. I know for myself, I'm still dealing with this particular lesson or this particular thing that's in my life. Temptation is a desire to engage in a short-term urge for enjoyment that threatens long-term goals. Let me repeat that again in my own context. Anyway, the temptation is what I like to call the siren or the siren song. If you don't know anything about the siren, it's a Greek creature that lured sailors and soldiers to the dark depths of the ocean to basically kill them. And the way that they lured them was by their beauty and their talent for music and singing. So that's basically what temptation is in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's like you see this thing or you want this thing or you just feel this thing that you just have to have. And everything in your power, especially if it's something that's bad, everything in your power sits there and be like, yo, everything in your body and spirit says, yo, this is bad. But it's something about this that's constantly pulling you towards. This is like, that trifling ass nigga that, that you really don't need to be with. But the temptation, that adrenaline rush that you get from him, that siren song that you get from him, it's like this heartbeat that comes off of him that you just can't get rid of. And I know all of us can relate to that. At least one time in your life, you had that feeling towards somebody that you just knew that they was wrong, but it just that siren song was so damn strong. It took you a minute to get away. I'm gonna tell you my temptations story, and it's recent. Like I had my biggest temptation. Honestly, and it's just maybe straight up and blunt, is sex. Like it's like I don't know I can't get enough. And if I'm attracted to somebody, I don't even have to say it, and nobody would ever know, but I would, and it'd be like this temptation, especially if it's somebody that I know that already like me or that I have already communicated with in the past, or just like I communicated with, and I know that because I'm in a relationship right now. You know what I'm saying, that it can't happen, but that temptation is always there. Like, especially if it's somebody that I can actually see on a regular basis or touch or talk to, you know what I'm saying, regardless how I get to communicate with them, the temptation is always there. And it's like, damn, like I know it's wrong to like really have these thoughts and to really be thinking about you like this, but also be wanting to do these things to you. But it's like, whoa, like I'm in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? I know my boundaries. I never will overstep them boundaries, but it's that sexual urge, that it's like this sexual thing inside of me that's just like, bitch, you gotta have it. You gonna get it. You gotta have it or whatever. And it has been when I was younger, it was one of the hardest things to fight, because anytime I had that feeling and I knew I can get it, even if I didn't know I can get it or get the dude, I would just go on off that feeling. I would let the siren song pull me in and suck me in and do whatever she was going to do, honey, to me. You know what I'm saying? And deal with some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it came down to deal with some stupid shit. But I go in and say this, like, temptation isn't just on a sexual thing or a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? Temptation comes in so many forms. It could come in the temptation of money. It could come in the temptation of wanting food, like being gluttonous, and that's one of the deadly sins. Let the Bible tell it. It's one of the deadly sins. It's being a glutton. It can be the temptation of power, always craving that power, and then when somebody show you how to get it or get another piece of taste of it, you're like, ooh, So it's that, you know what I'm saying? It's in my mind. And from a lot, and if you break it down, I also put this in four versions of temptation, 4 different types of temptation. from what I read, it was only 3. But I put an extra one for myself because I realized that this year, I'm gonna say about a couple of months ago, I just realized this fourth one for myself. I don't know if it's a fourth one for everybody that's breathing on this earth, but for myself. So the 4 different parts of temptation deal with, the first one is sexual. The biggest problem that I have is like and a lot of times I don't be meaning to get like that because I find myself flirting. I find myself being over friendly. I find myself sometimes, especially if it's a dude that I'm attracted to, it was a lot of times I'll play it off and act like I don't and be like, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll sit there and be like, I'll have it all in my head, like the things I was going to do to him and all this other stuff. Girl, it runs deep. If you know what I'm talking about, it runs deep. Worldly. When I say worldly, I mean like you have, you're obsessed with worldly possessions. Like the things that you can't take to you when you die. You can't bury with you. And if you can't trust and believe, they can't go with you where you're going, regardless where you're going. Spiritual. When I say spiritual temptation is when you, for me, in the way that I took the definition of spiritual temptation is when you know something goes against your spiritual being and your spiritual beliefs, and it's so tempting. It feels like it's right, but it's wrong. Where you sit there and be like, yo, I'm going to break all my spiritual beliefs and let the chips fall where they fall. Like, and even if I break every rule of my spiritual belief system, I'm still going to get it. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm still going to let it, pull me in. That's what spiritual is. That's what spiritual temptation is. Now, my personal one, and I don't know if everybody else has this type of temptation, but I say positive temptation, where temptation, let me say, I got tongue twisted. Temptation, where you are making, just for instance, for me, and this is the prime example. And then it was a prime example for a previous episode, but this is the big one. I had for the past 2 months, I've been feeling like around me, I just been feeling just a total change. I don't know if everybody else have, but I have noticed that a lot of people are changing for the better. So I believe this is just a universal thing. But for me, it just felt like a big awakening for me. Like I learned what my spiritual belief is now. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I'm fluent in it, but I'm practicing it. I found out so much more about myself during this time, during the pandemic, and it all came from positive temptation, where I wanted certain things that I knew that I deserved. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted certain things. Like I wanted to get my car fixed. I wanted to start this YouTube show. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to find ways to enhance the YouTube reflection and loose wrap. I also wanted to find ways to enhance my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I'm gonna focus. I got this step. But I keep feeling this energy like, yo, you gotta have more. You gotta have more of this, because it's something that you never had before, and it's good. It's not like it's a bad temptation. It's good because you see how good it is now. You see where it's going now. Keep grabbing for it, keep going for it, go through them doors, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by positive temptation, where it's positive, that it's good, and it's just reeling you in, and you just letting it reel you in, and there's no negative back behind it, or it's nothing negative going to happen behind it. But I say that to say this, like this past literally less than 24 hours ago, I didn't know what I was going to do with my car. And because my car has been really giving me a lot of problems since I got it. And I was like, Lord, I was just saying, I was like, yo, I said, universe, I said, what's going on, honey? I've been putting in this work in this car, and I've been putting this work in a lot of areas of my life, like my relationship and my work, you know what I'm saying, as far as YouTube and things that I have that I plan on talking about later on, later into like the beginning of 2021. But a lot of things that I've been doing, and a lot of things that I've been working on my inner self. I've been working on my spiritual self. I've been working on me. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I've been working on the physical part, so because I have gained a couple of pounds since being on quarantine, but it was just like I know this energy that I feel every time I grasp for it, every time I seek it, something better comes along, something good comes along. So I can't sit here and not take it. But what is going to happen with this damn car? Because this car was a part of the positive things that happened to me, but it also became somewhat of a burden for me because I was putting so much money into it and it just wasn't working out. Bitch, lo and behold, me grabbing for all this positive, going for all this positive temptation and putting in the work and allowing all of this positive energy and stuff to just suck me up, I got me a new car. So I say this to say this, that like temptation can be a positive thing, but not in the form of the spiritual temptation and worldly temptation and sexual temptation, because sexual temptation can put you in the hospital. It can have you catch something. It can help you, honestly, it can get you killed depending on if you're in a relationship or you just dealing with somebody. Because let's be honest, you allow yourself to get so sucked up into a person that's not even yours, and they know that they have the power to do that, it's very dangerous. Worldly temptation comes down to me. The biggest worldly temptation that we have in this world right now is money. It's money. That is one of the biggest worldly temptations that you can have, because at the end of the day, if you pay attention, one, as far as the United States, we're piss poor broke. They're just printing out paper. Second, money can't go with you everywhere. Two, you can make all the money in the world and you will never be happy. It's a possibility. So the ways that I fight, these three major temptations, negative. I'm gonna say the three negative temptations. I can't say, as far as the worldly temptation and spiritual temptation, I already know my spiritual temptation, my spirituality is so strong that my karma is ridiculous. When I say my karma is ridiculous, like, I know how bad my karma can be if somebody fuck me over or do some trifling shit to me. It happened recently with a situation at an old job that I work with. It is still rippling within the company, and and I don't believe the person now, but the person instantly got the karma that they put out on me. And not only did they have to deal with it, but due to the fact that they added people into that karmic flow of energy, those people, and the bigger picture was the company that wound up dealing with some things currently. But they're slowly but surely, because I decided to forgive this person, have started coming back and getting themselves together. But when it comes down to, like I said, when it comes down to my spiritual, get back on topic, spiritually for me, I know if I go out here and do something that's against my spiritual beliefs, that shit ricochets so damn hard. My karma ricochets back on me so damn hard that I be like, yo, like, no ma'am. Let me burn some sage. Let me burn a candle. Let me do a cleansing, something. But also sexually, if I allow myself to fall into and allow myself that sexual siren to get in my ear and be like, bitch, go for it, 9 times out of 10 I can't get enough of it, because it's that person is going to do some things to me, or we're going to do some things together that make me crave it. And it becomes a point to where I crave it, to the point where I'm losing focus. Where the things around me I'm not paying attention to because they're falling apart or have the potential to fall apart. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad sexual temptation is for me. And a lot of people say, why are you saying this on a show like this? Because it is. This is why I do this show, so it can be upfront and personal and real with you. Because loose rap is a bunch of kiki and caca and do whoop de whoop de whoop. But reflections is the reason why I created reflections was, one, is therapeutic for me to get it out, but also I know that it's helping other people. I already know this. I already know, like, when I have certain conversations with people and be as honest as possible, because I don't hide anything from nobody. Because I believe, like, if you can hide anything from somebody, eventually the shit will come back. And especially if it's something big or something that affects somebody else or the person you're not telling, eventually it's going to hurt them. And then watching them hurt is going to hurt you. So the way to fight these temptations, as I personally say, to refocus your attention. Find something else to put your attention on. Change, and then that's number one. And the way you do that is, prime example, with me having such a strong sexual temptation and seeing a guy, even if I'm with my dude, I see a guy and he's very attractive to me, my thoughts start going. Like, when I say start going, y'all just don't know how crazy my thoughts get when it's a guy that just get me there. I personally sit there and start that same energy that when my mind starts going, I try to focus that energy on either one or two things. Either my spouse, so that he can get all that sexual energy and all that sexual frustration because I'm fighting the siren. And not in a bad way. I try to put the same sexual energy I got in my head about the person or you know what I'm saying, or the situation, I try to put on him, because then I will please him. You know what I'm saying? Way better than I would if I wasn't, like, really just aroused and the siren was speaking to me. Also, when it comes down to, like, worldly things, like especially with money, for me, for a long time I had an issue with not having enough money. Always work. When I say working, I mean work. It was times that I never had time for myself. I wasn't taking care of myself, health wise, any otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Socially wise or otherwise. So, and when I say that, I was doing like almost 80 hours a week. So even though I had Remy, I really didn't have no time for her. You know what I'm saying? Back then, even though my boyfriend was around, I ain't had no time for him. You know what I'm saying? So the way I deal with that is, honestly, when I start seeing things like that now, like, I'm not having time to have personal time for myself and have a woosah moment, or time to spend with my spouse, or time to even, the simplest thing is for me, and the most relaxing thing for me is to be chilling with my dogs. If I don't have time to do that, then I know I need to refocus myself, because I'm allowing money, I'm allowing things that shouldn't be pulling me into that towards them, to tempt me to not pay attention to those things. Spiritually, like I said, like, it be some spiritual things out here, like, when it comes down to spiritual belief, like, you sit there, like, as far as let's make this for example. The Bible says thou shalt not kill. I'm not gonna say I ever killed anybody, because I never have. But when it comes down to that, like, my first thing is, like, what would be so tempting to kill somebody? Like, people really be tempted to just kill you for just to be killing you. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing would be a spiritual, for me, that would be a spiritual thing. I don't know about everybody else, but that will break down the spiritual thing, because then you're fighting against yourself. You're fighting against your beliefs. Like, I believe that you shouldn't kill anybody. Now, do I believe you beat their ass? Hell motherfucker yeah. Do I believe you could put them in the hospital? Hell motherfucker yeah. But that does not mean for you to take it upon yourself to kill them knowingly. You know what I'm saying? Now, bitch, if you push my button and you let the monster come out, and I'll put you in the hospital, and you say beep, 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 bitch, that was on you, because I didn't know y'all was going to do it. I restrained myself. but I didn't know I was going to do it. So, but that's what I feel like is spiritual. And then too, spiritual could be like you doing things that are never religion, cause you know what I'm saying, that you normally wouldn't do, or you allowing people to come around you that have they're energy vampires or succubuses. If you don't know what those are, go back to episode 3. Go to episode 3. You will know what those are. But you allow those people to stay around you, and you know they're draining your energy. They're draining your spirit. And the way that you know somebody or something is draining your spirit is because every day, when I say every day, it takes you so much energy just to get up. It takes you so much energy to think about doing this or, excuse me, to you know what I'm saying, to sit there and like if you go to work and you sitting at your desk and it's like you normally do check the emails and all this within an hour, and you just like, why am I so sluggish, or why, you know what I'm saying, I feel like the world is on my shoulders and I can't get rid of it. That's a spiritual temptation that you didn't contracted, and you probably did something that knocked your spirit out of whack. Or something tempted you to where you knocked your spirit out of whack. So our quotes for this to remember this week are very deep to me. Like and this is crazy because I'm like, yo, like one of them really resonated with me. But the quotes to remember: 1, temptation is like a knife that may either cut the meat or throat of a man. It may be his food or poison, his exercise or his destruction. I'm gonna repeat that because that's some deep shit. You gotta you really gotta think to get what this thing is saying. Temptation is like a knife that may either cut the meat or the throat of a man. It may be his food or his poison, his exercise or his destruction. This quote comes from John Owen. I say this thing is deep, and this I think this was the one. If I'm correct, I'm gonna read the other one and let you know because this one is deep too. But listen to that. It says temptation is like a knife that may cut the meat or the throat of the man. When I read this, I look at it like temptation. Like I said, there's a such thing as positive temptation, and this quote announces that in each phrase that it's saying, where it says temptation is like a knife and may be either cut the meat or the throat of a man. When it's saying that, temptation can be a good thing where it can cut something good out for you in life, and you can grab it and you'll be fine. Or you can go after the temptation that you're looking for and the wrong temptation, and that bitch will cut you so damn fast where whatever you were supposed to be doing is gonna cut you, so it's gonna slow you down or do some damage to you. Where it says it may be the food or poison, I look at it like this. Depending on how you move and what the temptation is, it can either nourish you, it can nourish your body, it can nourish your spirit, it can nourish the things that you're working on, like help things grow. It can also suck the energy out of something and take away from you and take away any possibility of any other moves that you try to make happening. When it states it can be his exercise or destruction, meaning it can be something that when you down and your body not right, you know what I'm saying, or you just in a situation that just isn't right, but you keep working and doing stuff to build you up and build that muscle to get you up and get you through that door. It can do that, or it can be just as bad as the deadliest disease that's out here right now, COVID-19, where it breaks down your system and the things around you and your spirit to where there's barely nothing. Quote number 2. We all have temptation and to be backseat drivers. We all have temptation to be backseat drivers when it comes to decisions that will work out the way we want. It's not this one. But I do understand what it's saying. We all have the temptation to be backseat drivers when it comes down to decisions that work out in the way we want. And excuse me, we all have temptations to be backseat drivers. And I think I may hit this on that. I may be off. But when it says that when you have the temptation to be a backseat driver, where you have started something, you have started a big project, and say that a picture like this, you started a big project and you decided to have somebody come on. You know that you have to be there to make sure it's ran properly or it's done right or whatever the case may be. But it's tempting to allow, say somebody come along or something else come along or another project come along that you really want to do. And it's just tempting you because you know you're going to do it. You know you have the tools to do it. You know you have the skills to do it. You know you have the tact and the time to do it. But you already started this project. Even though this one over here may not be this as big as this one is, you're tempted. You're drawn to it because it's like, shit, this may be something. It could be something that piggybacks off of the project that I'm doing or add to the project. But how can I know that if I don't have this project right? But you got these people over here working for you, so you like, shit, this damn thing, this bitch over here calling me like a motherfucker. It's like ring, 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 bitch. Come on over here because you already got people there. But you know that the people that you have in position they're good. But they're just not you. And you have a vision for it. You allow this thing to come. You allow the people to come in, take over, and drive for you in this project. And you allow this other thing to come and pull you into it. You poured into this one, but now that you poured in this one, you in between two different things now. So now you wasting your energy on this thing and that thing. And eventually, the thing that you started on that was working really good already because you had set the foundation. You allow somebody else to come in and take over. So you sat there and let them drive the car. They get in an accident or they hit a bump in the road during the project that you foreseen that you couldn't even come help because you were so worried about this project over here. Get my picture, get my gist. I think I'm keeping y'all. I think I'm grabbing y'all. So that's what that means. Like, we can be backseat drivers to decisions that we make. Just like, for instance, in the past, I had a situation where I wasn't dating anybody, but I would say I wasn't in a relationship with anybody. I was dating people. And my definition of dating is where you're getting to know multiple people. Let's be honest. Some people choose not to have sex with the people that they date, but I'm the type of girl that if I want it, I'm going to get it. And during that time, I probably was dating like 3 different people. I would say, to be honest, truly honest, I was dating two or three different people, and I'm gonna say 2 out of the 3 knew about each other. So they knew that I was getting to know them, and if something happened, it happened. You know what I'm saying? But I can't. It was so bad where like I had to come to a decision. Like I let them take. I had to come to a decision to either really be with one person or just continue to date these people, and I allowed them to control the situation. I knew that they had the ability to do it, but me knowing what I wanted and allowing them to do it is you know what I'm saying, it's 2 different things, because the way that they did it was something different than what I had in mind. So I wound up in the backseat driving. A lot of shit happened to me because I decided not to voice my opinion and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I believe this situation is. So that's what I believe this situation is. But temptation is one of those things that's very, especially if you don't grasp hold to what it is, and to pay attention to the signs of when it's going on, and to pay attention to your personal siren song. Because some people have all the temptations going on in their life. Some people just have sexual temptation like me. Some people have worldly temptation. Some people have spiritual temptation. Everybody has positive temptation. Now the thing is, are you going to chase that, or are you going to chase the other temptations that you have going on, or other temptation that's going on in your life? That's the question. So yeah, that was one of that's definitely temptation, and it's still one of the biggest things that I'm going through today. Like it's one of the hardest things for me today. Even being in a relationship, sexual temptation is one of the hardest things for me today. One of the hardest things. Like when I say that I fight back, such is the urge. It's just like me fighting back 35 years of anger that I have inside of me about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And I will say I have control over. But the moment that anger gets set free, whenever that day comes, I hope whoever get it, they survive that bitch. But I don't believe they will. But I definitely feel like sexual temptation is one of my biggest things. So since we're at the end of the show, I want to say this, like, hit me up in my DMs, hit me up in the email. Tell me what your temptation are. Is it a spiritual, a sexual, a worldly, or have you recently experienced some positive temptation? Do you open one door, then another door came, and then you was like, shit, I'm about to go through this motherfucker. I know this one. I'm finished with this one. But then you see that you open that door, and then you see like 3 other doors. You're like, bitch, I'm tempted to go to that motherfucker too. So hit me up and let me know what your temptations are. I would love to converse with everybody that's on here. The last thing I'm going to say is I noticed there's a lot of people on YouTube that is not subscribed. Please subscribe. You never know what I'm going to do. You don't never know when I'm going to do it. That's the beauty of these shows, especially when it comes down to Reflections, because Reflections is not a show that's always on schedule, because I reflect at different times. You know what I'm saying? I do reflect every day, but every topic isn't a topic that is something that if it doesn't say, bitch, you need to do this as a show, I'm not doing it, because that means that it's not going to reach the person or the people that it need to do. I listen to my spirit, and when my spirit say, bitch, you got to do this show, you have to be upfront and honest about this particular lesson that you learn or this particular situation. That's how I do Reflections. So please subscribe. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and enjoy everything that comes, because there's more things to come with myself, Christina Storm, Loose Rap, and Reflections. Thank you all again for watching. I enjoyed this topic. It kind of revealed some things about me, but I'm good with that because, like I say on Loose Rap, I don't give a fuck. So continue, everybody, continue on your journey.